All right, the objective today is to solve equations by completing the square. And you'll learn what that means in a couple minutes here. To rewrite functions by completing the square. Problem 1, what is the solution of each equation? Each equation there has just an x term, no y term. So we can solve them as we solve regular equations. So 3x squared, if I subtract 5, 3x squared is equal to 15. I divide each side by 3. X squared is equal to 5 then. And then x would be the plus or the minus square root of 5.
So yeah, remember, whenever you're introducing a square root and you're solving for x, you need to include the positive and the negative, so plus minus on the square root. That's really important, okay?
All right,
B.
second equation. First of all, I'm going to add 3, making it 8x squared equals 32. Divide by 8, x squared is equal to 4. And then I need to take the square root of 4, which would be a positive 2 and negative 2.
Okay, good. So again, we have two solutions for that one. Don't forget that positive, negative. Problem 2, it says the total area of 3 congruent circles is 500 centimeters squared. Find the approximate radius of each circle.
Okay.
So,
Well, your formula is area is equal to pi r squared, and you have 3 of those. So your equation is 3 pi r squared equals 500. And if I divide by 3, pi times r squared is 500 over 3. And then I'm simply going to take and divide by, we also need to divide by pi, so it's 500 divided by 3 pi. And then x would be the square root.
or r equals, yeah.
Or r is equal to the square root of 53.05. And that's approximately 7.3 centimeters, which would be our answer for the approximate radius.
Good. So on problem 2, you notice that Ms. Hatfield didn't do positive, negative square root, and that's just because radius would be only a positive measurement, so the negative value had no value, right? Okay, now problem 3, we're going to show you 2 different ways of solving this. And first of all, Ms. Hatfield's going to go and explain how the left side is a perfect square trinomial, and she's going to solve it that way, and then I'm going to go back to kind of a more traditional way of solving that.
All right, so x squared plus 12x plus 36 is a perfect square trinomial, and that would mean that I could factor it into 2 factors of x plus 6 times x plus 6. So I'm going to abbreviate that then to be x plus 6, that whole quantity squared, is equal to 9. And then I take the square root of each side. The square root of x plus 6 squared is just x plus 6. And the square root of 9, once again being the plus or the minus square root of 9, is either 3 or negative 3. So then to solve for x, I'm going to take 2 separate equations. X plus 6 is equal to 3, or x plus 6 would equal a negative 3. And then my 2 solutions for x are a negative 3 or a negative 9.
Good. So that is kind of a prelude, or prelude, or however you want to say it, to completing the square, which we'll do on the back side. But I'm going to kind of do it, if you could see that, you could also just put this in standard form. So setting it equal to 0, so I'm going to subtract 9 and get 27. And then from here we can factor by trial and error. And you're going to get x plus 9 and x plus 3. 9 times 3 is 27, and they add to 12. And then, as I said, each equal to 0, you're going to get x equals negative 9 or x equals negative 3.
Okay.
So this one over here, I didn't put negative over there. That was my bad when I was writing it. But so it works either way. And I think sometimes, you know, it's hard to maybe recognize the perfect square trinomial, but there are alternative methods of solving. Okay, backside, completing the square.
All right, completing the square. We are going to form a perfect square trinomial by 4x squared plus bx by adding in parentheses b divided by 2 squared.
Okay, and so let me just kind of explain what that looks like. So here is what we're going to start with on one side of the equation, something in the form of x squared plus bx. And what I want to do then is on both sides of the equation, we're going to end up adding b halves squared to both sides. The reason why I like to do that is then I can factor the left-hand side of the equation as x plus b halves the quantity squared. There's our perfect square trinomial. And so it just takes a little bit of getting used to it. Don't make this harder than it is, honestly. Let's look at problem 4. What value completes the square for x squared plus 14x? And it says justify your answer. Well, my b in this case is again the coefficient of my x, so b is 14. So if we take half of that, b over 2, we would get 7. And then if we square that, 7 squared, we get 49. That's what's going to complete the square. And by justifying our answer, then we're actually going to show that x squared plus 14x plus 49 equals x plus 7, the quantity squared. All right, so under new concepts, we're going to talk about the steps to solve an equation by completing the square. And if you just follow these steps, it's kind of foolproof, but it takes a little practice. So the first thing you want to do is you want to rewrite the equation in the form x squared plus bx equals c. Now it's important that the coefficient of x squared equals 1. If it doesn't, you're going to need to divide everything by that coefficient to get it to equal 1. And then part 2, you're going to complete the square by adding b over 2, that quantity squared, to both sides. After that, you're going to factor the trinomial. You're going to find the square roots, and then you're going to solve for x. So we're going to try those steps out for problem number 5.
Okay, so the solution that we're looking for is to 3x squared plus 18x minus 3 equals 0. And in following the steps that Ms. Schenzer outlined, the first thing we want to do is add 3 to both sides and then divide by the coefficient of x squared, which is a 3. So 3x squared plus 18x equals 3 becomes x squared plus 6x equal to 1. Okay, so b divided by 2 would become 6 divided by 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. And to each side then we're going to add b over 2 squared, which would be 9, 3 squared. So it becomes x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 1 plus 9, adding that b over 2 squared on both sides of the equation. Now we're going to factor the trinomial, and x squared plus 6x plus 9 would be x plus 3 times x plus 3, which is x plus 3 quantity squared. And then 1 plus 9 on the right-hand side of the equal sign is a 10. All right, so I have x plus 3 squared, and I have that equal to a plus or a minus. Equals 10. And then to solve this, we're going to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of x plus 3 squared is just x plus 3. And then we have the square root of 10, which we know must be a plus 10 and a minus 10. So now x plus 3 is going to equal positive 10, or x plus 3 equals a negative square root of 10. And those are our two answers.
No, you still got to subtract the 3. So we're going to do negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 10. So then, yeah, you get the two answers, negative 3 plus square root of 10 and negative 3 minus square root of 10.
Okay,
so there
I
are
didn't
two
see
right there.
this 3 here, darn it.
No, that's okay. All right, so let's go to problem 6 and see if we can do that one. It says, what is y equals x squared minus 10x plus 4 in vertex form? Name the vertex and the y-intercept. This is kind of funny. If you remember vertex form, it's y equals a, x minus h, the quantity squared, plus k. So what we're going to really do is we're going to complete the square on the first two terms, and then we're going to have it in that form. Complete the square for x squared minus 10x. So as I do that then, you are going to be taking half of negative 10, which is negative 5, squaring that. So we're going to add 25 to both sides, or well, inside the, on the, this is weird because we're doing it all on one side of the equation. So you're going to have x squared minus 10x plus 25 to complete the square on those first two terms. But if you add 25 on one side and you're going to keep it all on the same side, you would have to subtract 25 to keep that balanced. You add 25, but we're going to also subtract
25, right?
on the same side, right? So as you look at these first three terms, This factors out to be x minus 5 squared. It's a perfect square trinomial. And then 4 minus 25 is minus 21. And so now we have it in vertex form. Our vertex then is HK. In this case, it would be 5 and a negative 21. That's one of the questions. Name the vertex. And then to name the y-intercept, the y-intercept is always the ordered pair 0c. So I'm literally just going back to my original equation. C is 4 in this case, so the y-intercept is 0, 4. Okay? So again, when you are completing the square and you're keeping everything on one side of the equation, if you add a number, you have to subtract it on that same side of the equation so that you're not altering the
Equality.
Equality, absolutely.
Looks really good. So what did we do? We completed the square and rewrote some of the functions like vertex form
Very good.
using completing the square.